All right, my friends. This week on Prof and Dev Play Games, we are unexpectedly talking a lot about Final Fantasy Tactics. Stay tuned. All right, my friends, welcome to episode 498 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry, the professor, and over there is Anthony, the dev. We're here to talk about Final Fantasy Tactics because for the first time in 5.5 years, I got COVID. So I was down and isolating in my bedroom for a week. And right as Final Fantasy Tactics released, so what else am I going to do? I fired it up and didn't stop until last night when I beat the game.
You really
just
didn't.
kept going.
Yeah, I thought you're like, oh, I'm just gonna. I'll play the intro bit, and then you're like, I'm playing more. I'm just gonna go. It got into you deep, and you just
It's
hooks in there.
It's a real good game. I don't know if you know this.
No, I didn't think so. It's not anywhere in
holy shit
in my top 5 best games of all time.
It's got to be in mine
wouldn't
too.
be there at all.
But before we dig in deep, I do have a pack of magic cards here, Edge of Eternity. So let's crack that open before we get into the rest of the episode. All right, so let's see. Anything interesting here? A soldier, an insect warrior. Ooh, a Starbreach whale, a creature, a flying whale. Those are fun. Starport security, germinating worm, gain 2 life and it has warp. It's a 5/5.
Okay.
Wormwall sweeper, which is a spacecraft. Cool. Command bridge. Enters tapped. When land enters, sacrifice it unless you tap and untap a permanent you control and then add 1 mana of any color. Another spacecraft, a larval scoutlander. An instant and emergency eject. Destroy target non-land permanent.
Yeah, it's the Among Us reference.
Is it really? Oh. Because the thing on the... Oh.
The art. It's kind of.
I mean, I guess I only played Among Us a couple times, so I guess I'm maybe not picking up on the reference.
I'm making sure it's the one. No, sorry, it's not emergency eject. There's a card in this set that is a reference to. It's a removal spell. I thought it was emergency eject.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was like ejecting someone out the airlock, but I don't know anymore. But yeah, some people were amused by it. Of course, some people were like, "Why is this?"
Don't magic cards reference a lot of shit?
It's called. It's called Vote
sense.
Out. That makes more sense.
That's fucking awesome. Oh man, no, this is not that.
Yeah.
Got a Monoist Sentry, a 4/1 defender, Vault Guard Trooper. Discard your hand and then draw 2 cards. My rare is Beyond the Quiet. Exile all creatures and spacecraft. Okay. And then I have a Exosuit Savior foil, and then a regular land. Okay. Beyond. It looks like a great sweeper.
It's a good sweeper. For a commander, because it's exile, so that's going to get around all the indestructible stuff. It's basically a good sweeper, and then they had a tack on spacecraft, because that's
not just creatures, but also the spacecraft that you're facing.
Those things. But I would 5 mana, exile all creature. Not bad. That's actually a decent sweeper if you don't have like Farewell or something. But you have the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice because it's a different name, so you could have a couple of these. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I might add that.
Yeah,
to one of my decks. Yeah, very cool.
That's a worthwhile.
Well, there we go. So magic out of the way. Final Fantasy, man. This is my 4th Final Fantasy game that I've completed this year. I've beat Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy... Wait, let me get this right. Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy Tactics. This is my 5th Final Fantasy of the year. It's a year of Final Fantasy, and I thought that was last year.
And 2 of those are some of my favorite
Tactics
Final Fantasies.
And 9? Yeah. 4 is up there for me.
Yeah.
4 is good, but yeah,
4 is very good
great,
too.
Great. I would love to see that remade eventually, but it was very playable.
Yeah. I would like to see 9. They don't need to remake it in the vein of
the 7
remakes or anything to me. But I'm like, if you could do it in a way that's similar to Final Fantasy Tactics remake,
right? Where you're modernizing it but keeping its
might
aesthetic.
Be nice. Yeah, keeping its aesthetic more, being like, hey, we're not making this a full 3D thing. It can still be kind of fixed camera background, either still 2D, nice 2D backgrounds, or make the backgrounds 3D. Like but I don't think you need to go full like 360 camera exploration thing. I'm like, no, the game works as nice little vignettes. Like that's kind of the aesthetic of it, and it'd be nice to have that. But we'll see if they want to do it. But they wanted to do it with Tactics.
I remember
they did it. Ivalice Chronicles.
I remember being there at PAX with you and meeting the creator, or the art director and the director or whatever. And just thinking, I haven't played this game. I know it's a great game. I'm really into Final Fantasy. When I play this game, these things will be more meaningful. And now that I have, I'm looking at the signed art on the wall here in the garage and the picture of me with the creators. I'm just like, that's so meaningful. That's so awesome. Looking at this Rams pen now, I'm like, oh, I have such connection, 55 hours of connection to this character now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We can discuss this however we want, but I kind of like. We can start with the fact. I mean, I think all you've really known about this game is the fact that Travis and I have talked about it,
man. And I remember watching Travis play it.
I don't know if
and thinking,
sure,
okay, not my thing.
Yeah, you hadn't breached the tactical game games yet at that point. But yeah, so you went through this whole thing and basically one very long week sitting. What's your overall feelings?
So I finished last night, and I think a couple of things stand out. First one is just, and you had said it in Discord, and it's something that I felt throughout the game. There were so many bespoke situations that just told the story of my character and my characters and their journey, that just like last second saves, just incredible pulling victory out of the jaws of defeat. And then every once in a while pulling defeat out of the jaws of victory. That it was so, it felt tailor-made from my experience. And I'm sure my experience, if I play it again or when I play again, will be a different experience. So it just really was stunning how tactical games, I think in general, but this one very specifically, create almost puzzle box situations. Like, get yourself out of this, good luck. And, crushing yourself against the wall a few times, like the Dormer or Dorder slums was one of them. Graph was the end of chapter 3. Like you had mentioned something, and I think you and Travis had mentioned something vaguely about, boy, this thing at the end of chapter 3 really fucked people over who only had one save file. And I was like, oh boy, what the fuck is going to happen? And then you get to the end of chapter 3, and it's just this massive difficulty spike. And you've got to really think through the tools that you have and figure it out. And I just felt so fucking proud of myself. I felt like, and I didn't really think this, but I was thinking, I've created a solution no one has thought of. Because I'm like, I text you, I'm going to try something just fucking stupid. I'm just going to, shout? Not shout. Shout was what I used towards the end. What was it called? No, it was Tailwind, but the other one, the one that raises your attack. Thank you, focus. Yeah, I'm just gonna
focus.
Run around and do focus and just see if I can get away from him, and then just keep raising my attack level one at a time until I get strong enough to be able to hit him in 1 or 2 hits, because I can really get 1 or 2 hits on this guy and then I'm fucking dead. And then I thought maybe I'll do Tailwind as well, and then you had texted and said try Tailwind. I was like, oh, I definitely will try it now then. And I had not known until tonight, actually. I had switched my gear around. I put on the chameleon armor, and when I was running around, he never did that big holy attack, and I was like, well, I'm just getting lucky. He's just not doing that big wipey attack on me. And I just got faster and faster, and then I was able to do 2, 3, 4 turns per his turn. And then I was able to beat him, and then obviously it goes on to a second phase, which is even harder. But because I had pumped up my attack so much. It was 2 hits, I think, maybe 3 to get that Lucavi down. Yeah. But then you head on to another, like you have to then beat the next level. At least you can reset in between them. Yeah, exactly.
Save. You can
but
save
if
between
you
that one.
had to back out, and do it all again.
Yeah, you have to do it all again.
So, to answer your question for One Piece, just like how singular the experience felt, where I would get out by the skin of my teeth and have really felt like just genius levels of like using the tools they gave me. Like, okay, I've got all these classes, I've got all these jobs. I've got all these skills. How do I mix and match with that and the accessories and my armor and my weapon and my party members to make this work? And then you step into that and it's like, oh, it's just me. Oh, it's just Ramza. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Fuck.
Yeah, that's a learning experience of like, hope you haven't been neglecting
Luckily,
Ramza this game.
No, yeah.
Which you shouldn't, because he's the main character and he's there most of the time. Like, but it is possible. Like, you could be like not grinding with him, or just like, fine, I'll just use him for story stuff. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna hit this, and you're gonna hit this wall hard.
That whole experience made me realize that there were times I had a bunch of wasted moves with Ramza earlier on, where I could have used focus on the turns where I was just moving and doing nothing else. I should have always been doing something, and that's when I learned that.
Oh, sure.
So that's one thing. Another thing is just how rich the whole game is. Like, it's rich in terms of gameplay. Like, there are systems upon systems upon systems. There's hidden shit. There's hidden side quests. There's hidden equipment. There are hidden characters. Boy, those side quest characters, as I, crescendoed through the end of chapter 3, I was like, okay, this is my crew. Like, I have I've got Ramza and the 4 characters that I built up alongside Ramza. But then when I got to chapter 4 and got like Sector 8 and Beowulf, eventually Sid, I did get Cloud as well. Like, I started relying on those characters more. And I was thinking, boy, if I didn't have these characters that this game basically handed me, I would have had a lot. I probably would not have beaten the game by last night. It would have taken me a lot more time. So that was fun. Yeah. So the richness of the mechanics and the story, like the story is so good, and the voice acting. I usually don't know, like text-based RPGs, I don't like to listen to the voice acting. I can read way faster than the voice. But something was really nice about it, and it added so much to the story.
It was good. Yeah, I'm through chapter 3. I'm good. I just finished chapter 3 today. I'm going to 4, and I'll be in 4 for a while, because that's when you have all that side stuff. So much side stuff in 4. And at the start, I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel about Ramza's voice actor. I love it at this point. It definitely carries the power of Ramza and who Ramza is as a character. Like, it's weird. You follow Ramza, and Ramza doesn't have, I wouldn't say it's the Japanese thing where like that character goes on a story, but Ramza himself is pretty steadfast in his beliefs. He's challenged, but he's like, no, this is who I am. These are my beliefs. This is what I care about. And he kind of stays that character. Pretty much after chapter 1. Like, chapter 1 is kind of how he got there, but then chapters 2, 3, and 4, he is that character. And things get piled upon him, but he's still who he is, and in face of all adversities, no, this is who I am, and these are my beliefs. And the voice actor does a really good job of conveying that conviction through the whole thing, like through the voice, and I was very impressed.
I'm not sure it's a voice actor that I even know.
No, a lot of the voice actors are pretty new in this game.
Right. Brianna White and oh god,
he did a great
so good as Dice Dark.
Yeah.
Well, and
Dice Dark is such.
Well, and I didn't know that he was the villain, or a villain, not the villain. I guess it continues to goes and goes.
Yeah.
But I think Ben Starr is kind of emblematic of the voice acting for me, where like it was almost like voice acting at a whisper. Like, most of the game is like very low volume and very expressive. I kind of am used to like those big dramatic moments, like the voice getting louder. Like they don't. They stay in a range, and it just was more expressive to me. And God damn, the depth of the characters. Even though like your characters that are with you, like the ones that you kind of are built, like they don't really have a voice in this game. It's everyone else around them who does, except for Ramza of your party early on. Like, I don't know if yours was named Singleton. I had one that was named Singleton, and
that's
awesome.
That's
what I thought.
No, they're random names, and then you get some of them are like the ones that came.
Oh
with,
yeah,
like Agrius Lad and
knights,
the two female knights that come. Yeah,
I haven't used them. I use them for the adventures. I go to the taverns and send them off on adventures, and that's it. Which is where I found the first sound novel, by the way.
Yeah, that's where I found one of them, because I do every errand. But man, so yeah, you did that. Yeah, I agree with you. The voice acting, like, it is. I wouldn't. It's not your normal, over dramatic voice acting. It's kept. I whispered, as you said, lower tone. There's still a lot of expression to it, but it's like, no, this is it is a somewhat more grounded story and world, and they're like, hey, don't play this as like over dramatic, any kind of slip into funny or silly. It's like, no, that's not what this game
is. There's only one scene.
And clearly the voice direction.
And they say there's one scene that was like, it surprised me with how fucking hilarious it was. And it's where you go to the Clockwork City, and Mustadio's dad is working on that machine that eventually is the portal. And then like Sector 8 shows up or whatever, it unfurls, and it's Sector 8. And then Rams is just like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. You want me to come in and destroy Mustadio? Like, oh, this is not going to go well. And then it like tells it to dance or something like that. Or tells it to dance first and then has it destroy Mustadio or something like that. It was really comedic and funny and not out of place. It was perfectly in place. It was just like such a nice second of levity, whereas the rest of the story is pretty fucking heavy. So,
yeah. Trying to think of things here. So, I mean, you're talking about the systems and everything here. So this is an interesting part. This is the third game that you've played by the main designer.
Because Final Fantasy 12.
So you played 12, Crimson Shroud, the DS, that weird 3DS thing, and this. Are you seeing the connections between his works?
I'm seeing the connection in terms of the
not even like the lore,
the crunchy gameplay, like the really fiddly, like you can get in there under the hood and really tune shit. Because obviously with Final Fantasy 12 and the Gambits, Crimson Shroud, from what I'm remembering, maybe the abilities or the items, or
it had items that gave you skills that you could learn from the items, and that you could equip certain skill. Like,
and then this one is just like so many different pieces of the system that are like gears that click together, like your jobs, how far you want to go down the jobs, how you spend the JP, if you remember to spend the JP, the items, the accessories, the weapons, the buried side stuff. I think a lot about 12, where like some of the best stuff in 12 to me was the hunts, and those were like, you don't have to do this shit at all. I don't need to go find Cloud. I didn't need to go find Beowulf.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I saw some streams where people were doing the Cloud in Ivalice Chronicles. They are so kind to you in Ivalice Chronicles, because they put markers on the map where to go and stuff. That didn't exist in the original PS1 game. Like, you just had like a line of text that was like, hey, there's rumors of something, and you're like, okay, what does that mean?
Where am I supposed to go here?
So what am I supposed to do? What is this even?
It's so interesting how they put that in the original, because it's such a contemporary to Final Fantasy VII, and like Cloud and Aerith and whatever had not blown up. So it's like, let's put them in here for funsies. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, when did
97.
7 come out? Well, 90.
Because this one released in the U.S. in 98, January, I think. The original. Yeah.
January 98. It was so it was 97 in the U.S. Like, did it come out? Yeah, actually, that was an interesting. So in Japan, Final Fantasy VII had come out January 1997. Right. So it was about a year.
But Tactics came out in Japan in mid 97.
They were just.
There really wasn't that much.
I think something like that.
Distance, whatever. They're contemporary.
No, they were definitely exactly. Yeah, they were being made at the same time inside Square. So,
well, it was a big divergence, 7. So maybe they thought it was going to be a big thing. So,
yeah, or they just. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, Matsuno's thing is just to put small little things like that beautiful, man. All over the place.
Like there was stuff I missed. Like I don't know if. Because looking at the guide, it was basically War of the Lions, and I know that they added more stuff in War of the Lions. Like there was at least one quest when you pick up I'm going to say the name wrong, Meladoyle or Meladule or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Where in the guide it was saying, and then you stop back at Dorter Slums and you protect someone and then save them. But that might have been Baltier actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, how you got him in War of the Lions. Yeah. So anyway, like Agrias's birthday, is that a side quest in the original? Okay. Yeah, I did not do that one because I was like, I don't understand this calendar system well enough. Or like the interactions of the Zodiac symbols, and also, by the way, fucking having a huge emphasis on Zodiac and then going to the Zodiac version of Final Fantasy 12. Like, there's really some thematic stuff happening here with. Is it Matsuno? You said. What else has he done? Is it Matsuno. Tactics Ogre?
So he did, first thing he was on, he might have been some stuff before this, but his main thing was he was at Quest and he was on Ogre Battle and then Tactics Ogre. And then he got hired at Square and a bunch of the Quest team came to Square. That was where you met Minagawa, was from Quest. Akihiko Yoshida, who did all the character art, was Quest. Matsuno was Quest. The composer, Sakamoto, Hitoshi Sakamoto was Quest, so they all came over to Square.
Yeah,
kind of lured by Matsuno getting hired at Square. And then he got
put his first project?
Tactics.
That makes sense after Tactics Over,
at Square,
or whatever.
And he didn't come to work on a Tactics game. He came to Square because he just liked Square's games and had the opportunity. It was Sakaguchi who kind of, I think it sounds like from the things I've heard in interviews, is like convince him to do Tactics, to take what he had learned from Tactics Ogre. So that's the other thing I can say is if you ever feel like playing a different Tactics game by him, Tactics Ogre Reborn, fantastic. And you'll see it a lot of his same design philosophy and voice in that game. Even as kind of like, you're like, oh, this is kind of like a proto Final Fantasy.
Well, I can't even tell you, man. Like my approach to media, like when I finish a good book, I have to immediately start a new one. I cannot wait because I have such a hole in my heart.
Sure.
And that's what happened after finishing Tactics. Like I have to start a new game. I was like, when I'm casting around, I was like, I should start Tactics Ogre. I own it. I should go. And I looked up how long to beat, and I was like, I can't do another 55-hour game. So I looked for something. Yeah, I looked for something Tactics that was big. Short, like 6 hours is the one I picked up. But that's good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's similar levels of like, it's not the job system. It has its own progression thing and character customization. But it has so much like hidden ways to get characters, and there's such an enormous amount of supporting cast in that game to recruit or not to recruit. I don't think you can get them all in one playthrough. I have friends who's put hundreds of hours into Tactics Ogre, on the PSP version, the Let Us Cling Together, version. But you'd play it and you'd see similar things like that, because it's like, I say Let Us Cling Together because it's actually, when it opens, it's Tactics Ogre, I think 7, or it's like, or Ogre Battle 7, Tactics Ogre. The subtitle of the story is Let Us Cling Together, like Final Fantasy Tactics is the Zodiac Brave story. You just see some of these, like, Matsuno was the designer, he's also like the main writer of Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre. He doesn't write all his games, but he's a pretty big part, not just of the game design, but of lore and story. So there's certain things like 12 slots in very nicely into all of that. 12 is the same world,
Ivalice, but
Tactics
is way further along in the timeline, I guess.
Yeah, it's like thousands of years later, because they reference, I mean, you've played it now, they reference the Saint Ajora and everything in this was about 1200 years ago in Tactics, and that was the golden age, and there's airships and the whole thing, but that was still hundreds of years after.
Whoa, the Saint Ajora thing was after 12.
Ivalice.
Oh, okay, that's why I was like, I don't remember Saint Ajora in 12 at all. So 12 happened, 12, some cataclysm happens, everything that was falls apart, and then the Saint Ajora myth begins.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because,
yes. And I mean, the Lucavi you're fighting are the summons of 12. Lygraph turns into Belias. Belias is a summon in 12. Chuchulain is an optional. They're not called summons in 12. What are they called? But either way, they're Espers. No, Espers is 6.
I thought I was saying no. 9 is fuck. I've played so many now; they're all blurring together. Esper is 6 for sure. I was like, it's Guardian Force. No, that's fucking 8.
That's 8. Let's see. No, it's Esper. Okay. Esper is 12 as well. They use Esper. But yeah. So is Belias is an Esper in 12.
Good Lord, I do not remember that
in Tactics. But all, yeah, and they're all the Espers in 12 are references to.
Lucavi wow! That I did not even realize that. That's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah, that's part of the connection of the world. So yeah, that exists. So Matsuno exists from like you've played it now. You see her.
Oh yeah, very clearly
design voice. And like his games have a feel. He lands for me very well always. Like the other one he has done.
I keep hearing about that one, Story. And I just feel like there's not a modern way to play that game unless I'm emulating, I guess. Yeah.
No, you have to emulate it. Yeah. It's only ever been released for PS1. And I don't know if it'll ever get an update. It was one of the last PS1 games at the end of the generation. And honestly, emulating it now, it's neat. It has a lot of neat systems in it, a lot of just crunchy gameplay systems. But it feels pretty clunky to control in modern day. So it's one of those, I'm like, emulate
for an hour, get a feel for it.
The gameplay is rough like the story is neat though. It's much more intimate.
Yeah.
Because you're just controlling one character through this like pseudo turn-based JRPG puzzle solving thing through like one mansion. It has a very medieval Resident Evil kind of vibe going on. It just in the way the camera like the camera work is for it. But it does have like little weird horror stuff going on. It's a thing. It's a vibe, but it's also like you play it and you're like, yep, this is Matsuno completely through and through. But yeah, that's what he did before.
What's Vagrant Story? 12. Vagrant Story, then 12. So Tactics, Vagrant Story, then 12.
Then he left.
That's interesting. Okay, so Vagrant Story is after Tactics. Okay.
Yes, and there's some stuff that tie it to that it's also set in Ivalice, but that's been contradicted over here and there. Like, is it really or not an Ivalice
and then,
set game?
Crimson Shroud, I remember that's the last game he did. We haven't seen anything from him since. Is that right?
In the US, probably. This is probably the... He did Crimson Shroud, then he did...
I think he did like a dungeon crawler game at some point, but I...
What was he did something called Lost Order it was a platinum thing. And then he came back and he did, so basically He did Crimson Shroud, did a scenario in Terra Battle, which was done by Mistwalker. I don't know what. Oh, Terra Battle is. It was a mobile thing by Sakaguchi, tile-based.
What was that one called again?
Card game thing.
Terra Battle. I don't know if that's
Terra
what I'm thinking of.
And so Matsuno just did one of the scenarios. So one of the things there. Lost Order. Oh, Lost Order never got released. It was unreleased Platinum game. Then he came back to Square Contract and did stuff for Final Fantasy XIV. He did the Ivalice.
Right, I remember that.
Return to Ivalice raids. And a couple other pieces there. And then he did Tactics Ogre Reborn. And then he was contract on Ivalice Chronicles that just came out.
Yeah, of course.
Because he was involved in Ivalice Chronicles. He's the one who rewrote the script to work with the voice acting, and he wanted to adjust things. There's like a famous line in the first game on PS1, the translation, like, so Dolitas kidnaps Ovelia at the start of the thing. Agrius runs out after her and just like, stop, thief, and he's like, no. And in the PS1 game, it says he's like, tough, blame yourself or God, and runs off. And then the War of the Lions changes that to actually, I think, something that's like less harsh. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, is actual people pretty back and forth of like which is better. And then this one, he actually sums up like, blame yourself or the father. And I feel like that's Matsuno, because Matsuno did not work on War of the Lions. So that translation was out him. I think he wanted to bring it back somewhat closer to the Dolitas feeling of
yeah. Oh my god, this whole fucking game, man. God, the trope of JRPGs where like you fight God at the end, like that's this. Like I feel like we're going towards Milan, we're going towards Full Marv, I guess, or Full Marv. Fulnar, whatever it was. Like this, we're crescendoing. This is the end. Yeah. Oh no, we're continuing. We're going down into the Necro hole. We're going to this fucking other. I don't know if it's like another plane, like this airship graveyard. Like, oh, we're just fighting God. We're fighting gods. We're fighting like the ultimate Lukavi here. And it's just like so. I guess the third answer for your question to me about the general thoughts of the game is the poor versus rich, like noble versus common. But really it's just like the church or religion or the gods or, the warping of religion to pitting the nobles and the commons against each other. And when really like the main enemy is just God or the notion of God.
What is the... So I've been screenshotting lines that I really enjoy. Wegraft, really, all such tales of gods and their miracles are false. Those who would prefer that history suit their needs and rewrite it so that it does. The masses yearn for gods and miracles. It is their opiate, and they consume it greedily. But do men exploit this weakness to dominate their fellows? Mayhap they do. But they only succeed because people are eager to know such dominion. I'm like... And then he ends with, gods are only illusions born of man's fear. And I was like, boom.
It's not subtle. It's not subtle. It's incredibly well written,
though. It's like... That's the thing with it. It's like, no, I'm not being subtle. Like, but I'm like, nah, but you write the lines so well on the, like, yeah, this game has some feelings on class divides and religion, organized religion, especially.
Well, the organized religion.
That is very common for a Japanese thing, because in general in Japan, its religious history isn't really organized religion. There's religion, like Shinto, the main kind of one, the main Japanese specific one, where there's just lots of gods and spirits that live in all things. There's not like a central church in Shinto. Like there's shrines and temples, but there's not overarchingly controlled
and
by
then therefore
higher
there's
shrines and temples. Like
right, and
they're very
therefore there's not
community
like one
focused.
huge apparatus to like subjugate, dominate, divide,
No.
conquer. It was so interesting how it was just like the nobles versus the commons, and then this whole third thread comes through the whole thing, which is like, actually, no, here's the actual.
Yep.
You are pissed at each other. Delita, you're pissed at the nobles. Nobles, most of them, except for Ramza, for the most part, like hate the commoners. Like it's really just the church that hates you all and wants power. And I told you over Discord, but I'm reading A Distant Mirror by Barbara Tuchman, which is a history of 14th century France, basically. And it's like some of the lines from this game are pulled directly from that. It's just like the commoners who are like, we toil for you, we fight in your battles, and then as soon as the battle's done, you just cast us aside, you don't care about us, and it's all this shit. It's just like, wow, this is all 1978.
When was that book written that you're reading? It was clearly, it's probably used.
If it's not, I'd be fucking shocked, because it is. It's not a history that's like specific to this one novel only. This is this history book. I mean, this is a history book from that time that did something to popularize in the sense of like pop media eyes this time period. It wasn't like a staid history that was kind of in fashion at the time, and it was actually pilloried by critics, especially male critics, because this is a woman who wrote it, for not being, historical enough or fucking enough endnotes or whatever. This was telling a story, and it's just like, it's unbelievable playing this game at the same time as reading that book, because like they're the same thing except for the Lucavi. There's no Lucavi in 14th century France.
Sure, there's a Final Fantasy. There's a Final Fantasy aspect,
yes, exactly,
to this.
Yeah, not a lot of magical blades.
Yeah. But it does do an interesting job. Like me now playing through it again in this version. One, I will say this translation is close to the World of the Lions. It's very similar. Some lines are changed here and there, especially to make them sound good when reading, the voice actors reading them. But yeah, I've screenshotted so much. There's just so much fire lines they get thrown in this where you're like, oh, spitting fire on that line. Oh tell us how you really feel. The types of this game, we know what you feel. You're saying something here. And I mean, Matsuno put out his thing when this is being remade, saying like, this story
absolutely
needs to be heard again. Like, because I think this is more meaningful than it was in the mid 90s when it came out.
Yeah, because I even think about like the political discourse and like how I think I will, at least from my perspective, like liberals and conservatives or whatever, like liberals kind of presaged a lot of the stuff that's happening right now. Like, get this much power in the hands of the few, the rich, blah, 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 is going to lead to all fascism, basically, and whatever, and stuff we're seeing right now. But that was felt way more abstract in the 90s, whereas it's like, well, it's like right here, right now.
Exactly. It wasn't, I would say, top of mind when we were in high school and everything. We're like, nah, like we learn about this stuff in history, but nah, like we know that's not good. But yeah, I see Matsuno saying like, hey, this is a lesson that needs to be learned again. And that's also why this game probably stands the test of time in that way. It has themes that are meaningful pretty much always.
There's not a bad part of this game. Like it feels like I'm so close to it, and it was a fever dream of playing 55 hours in a fucking week. And thank God for it. Like, it took my mind off everything else. Thank God. I'm so happy to have had this superlative experience. But there's so much to it that resonates. There's so much to it that it's hard to look away from. It's hard to hard to not walk away having taken 50 screenshots.
Yeah. I have screenshots of
that's the name I keep trying to say.
Wheatgrass. Wheatgrass's sister, who dies at the beginning. And she's just like, what lines do I have? You call us thieves, but is you who still us the right to live. And then Heaven's will, you would pin your bigotry on the gods. And I'm like, just calling it out. And yeah, it's in Parable in a fantasy story, but what this game is saying is based is using fantasy and those things to put a mirror back onto society. It just is. And
yeah,
it
I
does
wonder
a good job at it.
If there is any part of the game that kind of falls down for you, because for me, again, I'm so close to it that saying it's a masterpiece. I need some time with it, but I can't, other than like, I in the moment thought the end of chapter 3 was just like a mistake. Like, this is too hard. This is too hard.
Oh,
like, I understand what you're doing here, but it could have been like a little less. But then if it was a little less, would you really have dug into the system? And like, we have given you the tools to do it. And if you can't do it right now, go back. Like,
I'm kind of amazed. I mean, I get. So I have two perspectives really on this. Like PS1 days, I get why it was kind of there, and like you have the Dorder fight, the slums, basically the 5th mission. You have the end of chapter 3 being another kind of gate. Is that so? In a lot of ways, like this is a game back then that didn't have much of a tutorial. Like you were just expected as a player.
Yep.
You get games and you learn to play them. Like you learn the systems you need, and that is part of the experience. And so I get why chapter 3 is it is. I don't get why you could save lock yourself there. That's kind of bad. But I did not do that. I always long before this game, I always would save it. If they gave me multiple save slots, I would cycle through at least 3 or 4 of them. But yeah, you could get saves stuck there and have no way to win. But in a way, I'm like, no, like the gates are being like, hey, you need, if you can't beat this, need to use the systems, or if you're not strong enough, you can just go play the game.
Because you can over level. You can get yourself above. Yep.
You can over level. You can. I mean, it's also like, hey, play it, learn the systems, learn the jobs, and find a set of this that will break the game and get you through it. I think my first time on the PS1, I had my entire party had just become max
so you're just hopping in the air.
So,
yep, exactly.
And I was just never on the ground. Like, and with the Weegraph fight, he moved in, got one hit on me, and I just jumped him and just like hit him in one hit. With just a super powered 8 range jump, a 7 range or whatever it is, like the longest I could do, and it just smacked him down in one hit. But that was my solution, was like, oh, this is hard. Well, I just don't want to be hit. I don't want to be on the battlefield, so I'm just going to be off the battlefield as much as I can. Well, and it worked. And that's the thing with the game. There is no
right. I was going to say that there's
solution.
There are 12 solutions for that fight. You know.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, you have the tools. Figure it out. Like that is part of your expression as a player, is how you want to work your way.
As a side note, I fucking love Dragoons. I've loved Dragoons since the first time I saw them. Fucking, I love Kane and Final Fantasy IV. Fucking the idea of jumping to the fucking moon, like whatever is happening here, and then that's your defense, because whatever's happening on the ground, like they're targeting you, you jump up, they're like, whoop, that spell had no effect because you're not. Where the fuck are you? And then you just come down and just thinking about just like flying through the air and doing this fucking spear drop. Like I love dragons. They're so great.
It's good. Yeah. So I think that's really, so they have like that one piece there. And the other side is, in the Ivalice Chronicles, they had a chance to adjust that. And they chose not to. They were just like, no, this is a thing of this game. Yeah, there's a wall here. Modern games probably would have softened that. It would have been focus tested and like, that's too hard. People will bounce off this. I actually commend them for not, and just being like, no, games. I'll paraphrase my boss here, Liz England, and going that like, some of the best games out there have friction in them. Friction, they're like, best games aren't always smooth sailings.
No, because you feel like go ahead.
And you'll find that
you feel like you've made an achievement. Like getting through that, I will never forget. Like that was incredible. And then I was rewarded where chapter 4 was like, it wasn't all downhill. There was a bunch of tough fights, but like they gave me tools. Like, okay, we cheated in chapter 3. You got through here. Now you can have Sid and you can cheat.
And Sid is like, Beowulf, Sid, the stuff they get, the characters they give at the end, if you want to use them, yeah, they give you strong characters to finish things out.
But even then, no, you don't have to use them. But even then, like, you know, early on, like I was kind of rolling with Beowulf, and then when I got Sid, it was, you know, it was fine. But then you'd still hit walls where, like, even that last fight, I'm like, I have Sid, I have Beowulf, I'm still getting my ass kicked. Yeah. Like, it's just some of the RNG, but also, like, you still have to be thoughtful and really think through. It's not a fucking bulldozer. Like, you still have to use the tools thoughtfully. And that was, I appreciated that so much.
Yeah. So for me, like, is there parts I don't know, I play through this game over and over. This will be my 4th time playing through this game, right. A version of this game. I've done the PS1 game once. I've done War of the Lions twice. And I'll finish this one. I'll do it again. No, I mean, I actually find that it holds up incredibly well. I don't feel like, I think each battle still holds interesting aspects to it. Like, each battle is its own little scene. Like, there's no repetition there. There's the terrain is interesting most of the time. It's all kind of little set pieces every time. It's kind of amazing how many different maps.
Well, it feels like you're doing something different every time, even though sometimes it's just like, it's either defeat everyone or defend this person or defeat this one person.
Yep. But the terrain, the maps themselves, it just adds a little flavor for it, and it just works that through. The actual, like, story segments, they don't go on too long. I feel like they're the right length. They don't tend to have anyone just sit there and talk forever.
Well, and then when you are restarting or you're doing it again, you can just hold right bumper, just fast forward through it. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, and you get through it now. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it's a perfect game. There are rough edges to it. There is that friction to the game, but I actually do think that is why this game is held up for all 27 years now. People still talk about it because that friction creates stories and it creates a connection between the game and the player in a way that if you just play through a game and like, that was great, it was smooth, I got through it, it's probably you're not going to remember.
The struggling really along the way. I remember there were several parts besides WeGraph. Like, I think it's the end of chapter 1 where you're in, I forget exactly what it is, the snowy area, and I just couldn't. Go ahead.
Oh,
I forget who's there or what that fight was.
That's a hard fight.
Oh, yes.
Argath.
That's it. There. Yeah. Yep. Teacher gets that exactly that fight. It was a very hard fight, and I was like, I'm not ready. I can't do this. So I had to leave, and I was like, what should I do? And I was like, well, I have one monk who hits pretty hard. What if I made everyone monks? I just fucking swept everyone to monks and just went and leveled them up, and then went back and just wrecked shop. I was like, oh, this game's rad. It's giving me the tools to get through this shit. And 4 monks is fucking fun.
It is fun. And it carries you for a while,
exactly
and then you hit another wall. It's like,
nope.
All monks can't do
hit
a
wall in the end of chapter 3. I was like, this monk thing's not working.
So no, I particularly like this game quite a bit. I'm playing through it again. It lands, it speaks to me from a design standpoint. It speaks to me from a story and lore standpoint. I like what it's talking about. It doesn't have the production values of your Final Fantasy 7 or 8. Maybe that's a negative to it in the end, but it was made on a fraction of the budget.
Like, they can.
Yeah, and it's just like they didn't do huge cutscenes or anything like that. But, like, War of the Lions added some. I don't know if you watched
they're in the Chronicles or whatever they are.
Yeah. Yep. Those are the War of the Lions cutscenes. Those are the ones made for it. Were not part of the original game. They are great art. Like, I love the art style. And which just goes to say, like, War of the Lions was not made with a lot of the team that made Ivalice Chronicles, like the original team. I appreciate that they put the cutscenes in, but it was like Matsuno was not interested in having cutscenes to tell the story. He wanted the story, for the most part, to take place in the little the vignettes with the sprites in the game world. Like that was part of his vision. These little dioramas. So yeah, it is in the like top 5 games of all time for me. It stuck with me for 27 years. It made me a fan of this designer, of the art, Akihiko Yoshida, who did all the character art. Love his art style. Minagawa as the art director, tying it all together. Where we started talked, he's like, how do I take Akihiko Yoshida's beautiful character art, how do I translate that into
and that talk that we attended, I was like, I finally understand what an art director does. Like, you don't have to be an artist on Yoshida's level to be able to. It's about translating it, especially back then. Like, maybe it was even more important because you really couldn't. It was a distant facsimile compared to like now. It can almost be like drawing. Maybe it is drawing on a fucking iPad and it goes right into the game. I don't fucking know.
Not completely, but closer.
Yeah.
There's a lot less limitations there. Yeah, and I love the fact that they chose just to stick in this version, Ivalice Chronicles. They're like, no, we're not going to drastically change the art style. Like, these aren't the crunchy pixel sprites anymore. They're a little bit more fluid because, well, we have 4K screens now. And I did understand their reasoning. I think that was in the tactics thing of being like Minagawa talking like the art needed to change to handle a 4K display. Like, it's not an old CRT TV where like the crunchy pixels are fine. They'll look not great at 4K. So how do you stay true to that style, but then get it res to 4K displays? And I think they did a great job. It feels like the original, with just cleaner sprites. But the sprite animation is so good in this game. God. There's so much of it too, like so much bespoke sprite animation.
Well, and this is a game that I played on the Switch. The original Switch, I played at 720p. I think is what the handheld is. I played all in handheld on the regular Switch because while I had COVID, my daughter wanted to keep the Switch 2, so they could play Mario Kart or whatever, which they never touched the whole time. So, which is fine. It's just the Switch one is just better to hold in the hands than the Switch 2. Just because it's smaller. So it was great. It ran great on the Switch one. Like, no complaints. I didn't play it in 4K, no problem. At one point I'm gonna buy this again on the PS5 so I can have the big screen experience. I'll probably run through this game again on the lower difficulty mode, just to experience the story with a little less of the I don't know, meet grandy walls, but maybe not. Who knows? Tactician seems insane. I don't know.
Yeah. I watched someone play through an entire playthrough on Tactician.
Yeah.
It's hard as hell. Like, you talk about needing to use all the systems. Yeah. That Tactician is like, yeah, you're not going to beat this brute force. You have to use all the tricks you got. I watched them wipe trying to get do one of the fights on the process to getting Cloud. Like, for like 2 hours. Because they were just getting one shot by like the big
Sector 7,
like it was just like nuke a character every turn. But they eventually got it so like, okay, I think it was Ramza could get a turn in before Sector 7, run up dual wielding knight blades, and then rended speed. And so they'd run up and they rended that speed twice. So it reduced it by 4. And then they had like 13 turns before it did its thing. And they just kept rending its speed and rending its power completely down to nothing. So it was doing like 2 or 3 points of damage every like 30 turns that they got. They're like, but it took them a while to just try tons of different stuff until they found something.
You gotta cycle through every single tool in the toolbox. All right. Finally found one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool game.
Holy shit.
I'm glad you played it. I'm glad you got through it. I didn't expect you to play
it.
Didn't either.
One
fell swoop.
Got sideswiped by COVID unexpectedly. So what you gonna do? I think everyone should. No, go ahead. No,
it's kind of crazy.
I keep interrupting you. Go
ahead. And then we get to, like, we haven't talked about this. Get to the end, the one part that you found harsh. The post cutscene.
I've turned around on that. And I'll explain why after we talk about it.
And I actually think I was reading more on Matsuno's waffled back and forth. on the meaning of it, if he would want Ivalice to live or not. And it sounds mostly waffling because at one point there was going to be a direct sequel to this game, and it got canned. And I think there was hope, like that she wouldn't be dead because that would be part of a sequel. But there's no sequel, so we should just take it as it's the text that it is. Tactics, Advance, and A2 are
they're not related at all.
Things.
It's not like a remake of this in any way. Oh, okay.
No, wow. No, not at all. They're completely separate.
By a different team?
They have none of the same characters. Or? None of their Matsuno, I think, was a director on Advance. But it's not. They are. That's the hard thing. It's like if you're coming for the vibes of Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance is not those vibes. They have a very different feel to them overall. But Matsuno was a producer on it. It's a lot of the team, not all of them. I don't believe, and it is an Ivalice, but it's not. Is this the one where it's not connected at all to to this? I don't know. There's something that puts them in order. Vagrant Story is considered part of the setting, but doesn't state it. The original. Yeah, they're interesting. I mean, I've played a lot of Tactics Advance. It's still a fine game, but if you come to it thinking of the serious Shakespearean political intrigue tone of Tactics, you're going to be you're not going to find that. And A2 is similar. It's just not the vibes. Something different.
The ending where Delita, or I don't know if Ivalice is trying to stab Delita.
Oh, she's trying to. She did
quite
stab
tell.
Him. Like he's like, you don't know if he. No, she stabs him. Like that's the initial. She's like giving her flowers, and she just.
But who is she talking about? Yeah, who is she talking about using in that moment though? Because she didn't know Ramza that well, and
that's the thing that people are unsure on that, because that could be quite a bit later. It could be,
but that's 50 years later, and they look the same. They don't look like they've aged.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So it's not when Orin.
That ending is fucking dark. Like, I'm trying to explain the real history, which is this game we just played, because he's the narrator of the whole thing. That's right.
Not Orin Durai. His descendant is the narrator.
That's right.
Azalam Durai. Yeah. But he's like the son of Orin.
It's like, oh no, we don't want, the church doesn't want this out, so we're gonna burn you at the stake. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
But I found the ending initially. I was like, so first of all, the ending with Ramza and Alma, where they just like on fucking chocobos and they're just out of here. Either that's real, or they all died in the airship graveyard with Ultima, and this is just like their spirits are free now kind of thing. Either way, it felt like a really yeah.
You can interpret how you want it. Matsuno has actually never wavered on this.
Wow,
they all lived.
Okay.
He's like, everyone who they did live the airship thing. Like that is the one thing he has been consistent on since the game. But again, I would take it. But
either way, the feeling is the same. Like it felt really good. I actually was really emotional about it. And then we get to the Delita scene, and it's like, wow, this took me from really happy elation to like fucking awful. And I was just like, I hate this. And then I woke up today and thought about it more. I was like, actually, it's a perfect ending because Alma and Ramza are nobles, and Delita is not. And the nobles like eschew all that shit, and they just go and do their own thing, live their own life, start all over, like kind of forsake being noble, and they have a happy, seemingly like they may have a happy life. Whereas Delita is just like really almost, it doesn't talk about it throughout the game, but like he clearly wants the noble life because he's trying to ascend to it. He was part of the Beowulf family early on, but then
Yeah.
Okay, he ascends, he's the king now, and he has nothing. It's awful. Like, it brought you nothing. So the nobles who take on the common life, like, shit's amazing. And this commoner who takes on the fucking noble life is like, oh, everything sucks. My wife just stabbed me. It seems like a really nice subversion of the themes a bit.
Yeah. It is. The best you can assume is that Ovelia there is referencing Delita using Ramza and Alma. And who knows, like, it's a little bit after, so there's definitely, that Delita was seen historically as the hero of this whole thing. And I feel like he probably set that up himself to a point. So even though I think Ovelia doesn't know Ramza for sure, she definitely knew Alma. I knew that. They, from the monastery, they knew of each other. So I do feel like there's something there of like her just being absolutely pissed. Like there was one scene I did screenshot with it's at the end of chapter 3, and she's like, "Can I truly trust in you?" And she asked Delita that, and he said, "I will never betray you, never." And I'm just like, no, she fucking hates him from that fucking point. As soon as he turns and is like, "Oh, you're just like everyone else who just wants to use me for power." And that's where I'm just like, yeah. She tries to stab him. She tries to kill him. And who knows how long he lives after that. I don't know. He's not. I do love his last line. "I got this." And I'm like,
exactly. And that kind of ties it all together. Asshole. Like, you were clamoring for this life and this is what you get. Like, I don't know.
And Ramza was like, "I don't want this life."
Well, and in some way, the noble has the choice to throw it all away, whereas the commoner is like, I don't have a choice to become a noble, really, but a noble person does.
Actually, yeah. I was listening to someone talk about this and their first approach to this, and they were talking about the like Ramza as a character, of a noble house, but he is the one like leading to advocate for like, don't be shitty as a noble, basically. He's not running a revolution, but he's definitely a moral compass that goes against a lot of the stuff going on.
That is such a solve, SALV, against Argath, who grows into just a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah.
Which I guess in the War of the Lions, he comes back for another fight in chapter 4. Well, the guide that I was looking at says
he does, right?
Yeah. And then it didn't happen. I was like, oh, good. Okay. And then the next one said fight, and it had spoiler text, so you couldn't see who it was. I'm like, oh, cool. I wonder who this is going to be. And it ends up being fucking your other brother, not Dystarg, but Fallbarg, or what was his name? Zalbag. That's it. Zombie Zalbag.
That was fun. Zombie Zalbag. Really, that was fun
and emotional. That's good.
They were talking about that in the Ramza. That like, if you look through like human history, a lot of changes to society and revolution actually don't come from people outside the system breaking it down. It is someone inside the system who has the means and the power that they get dissolution to it and are like, this system needs to fucking change. Because they have the means and the power to make that choice.
That's Ramza.
And that's Ramza. That's Ramza. Yep. And like, that is Ramza. He's like, I don't know. Game just has a lot to say. But yeah, I'm happy you played it. I'm happy you got to see this tactical type of game. It's a much smaller scale tactics game than like the tactical battles are smaller scale.
I kind of like the
tactical battle.
I like that. I like that it's more contained. I feel like just kind of like the design ethos from Miyamoto or whatever. Like, we're making Mario 1 with like really high constraints because of the system we're developing for. So in this small box, we're going to use these pieces. And I just, feel like it's better than the wider, wide open kind of fields and stuff where just, I don't know, anything can happen.
Yeah, it's true, and they used it quite well. But cool. I mean, I'll be honest. I could.
I'm sure we'll keep talking about it because you got to get through chapter 4. You'll probably get through it by next week.
I do have to get through. I need to get Cloud. That's gonna take a while. That's not the fastest side quest. I have to figure out how much extra stuff I want to be doing. Haven't done much. Yeah, I wanted to mess with you because I got it as well. And I still have Hades 2 to play more of.
Fucking great.
No, this is a good year. I know that they can't. Like, I shouldn't nominate Tactics as like up in there. My game of the year this year.
I plan to. This year is.
You surely could.
Because I've never played it. That's right.
Like, this is the first time experiment. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, I've played this plenty of times. Why wouldn't I put it in there? Honorable mention already for game of the year for me is this game. But just caveat because it is the game of the year any year.
Well, I don't know how I gotta sit on it more, but like this is probably the best Final Fantasy game I played. And I love so many Final Fantasy games that I played. This one is like head and shoulders above all of them. And that's crazy considering I don't feel like the party dynamics are as strong as like 7, for example. Or at least 7 Remake, I suppose. But then when you start interacting with all the other named characters, it is just as strong, to be honest. So
yeah, I love it. Like, one of the main reasons to have named party members in your group when you're going through the battles is because you get little snippets in the middle of battle. Like, because I was finishing chapter 3 at the gates into that the castle there, when Rafa's with you and everything. I had Mustodio and Agrius there. And they all had conversations with the different people as like during the battle as it was going on. They all got like different snippets. Like Agrius is turning to Ramza being like, so what are you gonna do with this noble when you get there?
Yep. I got that one too. Yep.
What's your plan? And he's like, exactly. I'm not gonna kill him. Like, is that what you want to hear? I'm not. And it's just like,
well, and later when you have Meliadul or whatever, the sister, Isould's sister, the daughter of one of the final Lucavi.
Yeah.
Where she's talking to her father, like, if I didn't have you in this party with me right now, I wouldn't be seeing this content. And it's just like middle of the battle, we're just fucking talking shit to each other.
Correct.
It's so good. There's so much more content that I didn't see because I didn't have certain people in my party, or I'm sure there must be other party members that I didn't pick up out there. Maybe not, but
yeah, I don't know. I was thrilled that the roster size was 50, so I didn't actually have to pick or choose. I could keep all my
for me, it made it easy to not have to kick out every single fucking chocobo, because those motherfuckers, Jesus, my god, just kept releasing chocobos throughout the game.
Yeah, so let's see. Boko is the chocobo. That's actually, you haven't played Final Fantasy V. That's the name of the chocobo.
Magic card with Boko and Bart. Yeah.
Card. Bart's and yep, that's Boko. You got Lod, you got Alicia, Lavian. Those they came with you. You get Agrius, Mustadio, Rafa, Mark, Orlando, Meliadul, Beowulf, Construct 8.
Yep.
Reese.
Yep.
Cloud.
Who?
Biblos.
Who the fuck is
there
Biblos?
You didn't get that one. Who were they? They're a side
from World Lions or from the original? Oh, okay. Fuck.
No, original.
No
idea. It's in the Midnight Deep.
Yeah.
Midnight Deep. Yeah,
you can stay down there, bud. Some lost fucking adventure.
You don't. Yeah, enjoy that. It is a Job Class Biblos. It's a monster. Resembles a reaver. He serves as a guest during the battle with Elidibus. Right, Elidibus is a different Lucavi person. Yeah. Which is funny because Elidibus is a big character in Final Fantasy XIV. A lot of the team that worked on tactics eventually went on to 14. Mm-hmm. Matsuno had left at that time, but like Minagawa went on there. Aki Yoshida's done art there. A number of the systems designers went on to 14. So there's like 12 references, tactics and 12 references all throughout like main story Final Fantasy 14.
So good.
Yeah. So, all right. We've been at this for a bit.
Well,
I'm
tired, but I'm sure you're keep tired. Talking about this game. We will. We'll keep talking. You'll move through chapter 4.
We will. I think we should do one as when we're talking about games of the year for sure.
Yeah, this will be on my list somewhere for sure. Well, everyone, thanks so much for listening. Hope you're enjoying Final Fantasy Tactics. If you are playing it, if you're not, you should check it out. It is fucking dope. It's so good. And we'll see you back here next week when we talk about surprise, surprise, more video games. See you then.
See ya. Yeah. Later, everyone.